I hate traffic, and I hate traffic jams. I hate them because they slow me down. Slow is not my speed. But what I hate even more is the hypocrisy of the Obama administration, especially when it comes to justice. Hello and welcome to Justice. I'm Judge Jeanine Pirro. Thanks for being with us tonight. Slow, however, would be the Obama administration speed. It was 1 year and 4 months ago that 4 Americans, including our ambassador, were massacred in Benghazi. Weeks later, the FBI shows up to investigate a trampled crime scene. Now, I don't know about you, but I still haven't seen anyone prosecuted or even in custody. But President Obama is going to get to the bottom of it.
We will not waver in our commitment to see that justice is done for this terrible act. And make no mistake, justice will be done.
8 months ago, we find out the Internal Revenue Service is targeting the president's political opponents in the midst of a close presidential election. Accountability was supposed to be swift and certain.
If, in fact, IRS personnel engaged in the kind of practices that have been reported on and were intentionally targeting conservative groups, then that's outrageous. And there's no place for it. They have to be held fully accountable.
Right. I know criminal justice, and I would expect the FBI to be the agency investigating the IRS. But then I would be wrong. Take a listen to what Robert Mueller, the then head of the FBI, had to say.
Can you tell me how many agents, investigators you've assigned to the case?
May be able to do that, but I'd have to get back to you.
Can you tell me who the lead investigator is?
Off the top of my head, no.
This is the most important issue in front of the country the last 6 weeks. You don't know who's heading up the case? Who the lead investigator is?
At this juncture, no, I do not know.
So we have 4 Americans murdered, countless other Americans targeted by the IRS for their political beliefs. No special prosecutor, no investigation, no one even questioned. Enter Chris Christie and the George Washington Bridge.
I didn't know about it, but it's my responsibility because I'm the governor. I found this out at 8:50 yesterday morning. By 9 o'clock this morning, Bridget Kelly was fired. By 7 o'clock yesterday evening, Bill Stepien was asked to leave my organization. That's pretty swift action.
Kind of refreshing, isn't it? A chief executive having at least the balls to get out there, face the music, hold people accountable, fire them, apologize, and take responsibility. Now, I don't take a position with respect to this so-called scandal, which, by the way, has garnered more coverage by the left than Benghazi and the IRS combined. Time will tell. But what I do know is that Chris Christie has presented more cases to federal grand juries than your average politician. My point? There is no way he's going to put himself on the line without being absolutely certain of his non-involvement. But here's the shocker. Within 24 hours of Chris Christie's statement, the Obama administration, known for its love of slow speed, sicks the United States Attorney in New Jersey on Chris Christie by starting a federal criminal probe. Really? Benghazi, 4 dead. Nothing. The IRS violating the constitutional rights of Americans. IRS employees taking the fifth. Nothing. And don't tell me that a traffic jam, as annoying as it might be, comes anywhere near the massacre in Benghazi or the IRS scandal. Mr. President, you're kidding, right? There's a saying that justice is blind, but it must be swift and certain. You who promised to give us the most transparent administration in history and a level playing field. And yet your appointee investigates a traffic jam as a federal criminal probe in less than 24 hours? But it gets worse, folks. Paul Fishman, the United States Attorney in New Jersey, trumpets his investigation. Now, folks, I was the chief law enforcement officer in my county for years, and I worked with the feds, shared resources with the feds, and have even been investigated by the feds. I know their MO. They do not confirm nor deny investigations. Their mantra is that they are so objective and so nonpartisan that they would never implicate someone before an indictment. I guess the rules are different, though, in the Obama administration, as Mr. Fishman trumpets his investigation of a potential presidential candidate from the opposing party over a bridge lane closure. Really? And by the way, Mr. Fishman has a long history of donating to the Democratic Party and in 6 years has contributed more than $12,000. And this week, the administration says that they've begun that IRS investigation. The only problem? The new director of the FBI, James Comey, doesn't even know who the prosecutor is who's running the investigation. And her name only surfaced after lawyers for the IRS victims claimed the FBI was dragging its feet, their clients not even questioned. Miraculously, the next day we find out who this mystery person is. Is it a special prosecutor appointed by the Attorney General? No. Is it someone well known for rising above politics? No. But then again, why would Eric Holder appoint a special prosecutor who might look at him for perjuring himself a few times in front of Congress? So who is this person? She's contributed more than $6,000 to President Obama's campaigns on a salary of $150,000 a year. Barbara Bosserman, an avowed political supporter of Obama, now heads up the Justice Department probe of political targeting in the IRS, which could only implicate the Obama administration. So when asked about the absurdity of this appointment and her loyalties to the president, Eric Holder's office says it would have been inappropriate for us to take her political leanings into account. You're kidding, right? You don't think this is a conflict of interest, that it gives the appearance of impropriety, that it causes the public to lose faith in our system of justice? But hey, at least there's good news on the Benghazi front. Just yesterday, our State Department said al-Qaeda was not involved. Now, there's a shock. First, it couldn't be al-Qaeda because they were on the run. And then it couldn't be al-Qaeda because it was that video. And then it couldn't be al-Qaeda because it was a spontaneous demonstration. And now, a year and 4 months later, we find out that it's not al-Qaeda. How about you tell me something I don't know? So here we are. Prosecutorial resources directed not against the killers of Americans or the violators of the Constitution, but instead against this Democratic administration's political rival. I have been a long-time prosecutor, and I have spent my career in the assignment of blame, making those who violate the law responsible and accountable. I know the role of a prosecutor. It is not a political one. The role of a prosecutor is to do justice. He or she may prosecute with vigor, and while he or she may strike hard blows, he or she is not at liberty to strike foul ones. Justice cannot be fueled by partisan presidential politics. Shame on you, Mr. President.